We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world. We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Legends of the Dark Knight issue 24. This is part one of the three-part story Flyer, written by Howard Chaykin. Art and co-plotter was Gil Kane. Steve Oliff on colors, Willie Schubert letters, assistant editor Bill Kaplan, Archie Goodwin editor. Someone has been killing bats with spikes, and it's kind of making Batman a little suspicious that somebody's trying to send him a message. Well, he goes out on patrol and kind of gets lost in thought about how much he likes being Batman, breaks up several crimes, and then is suddenly attacked by a flying man wearing an armored suit. He's shooting spikes at Batman, leading Bruce to think that this is the guy he's looking for. Despite getting some injuries, Batman is able to take him down, and he drags him back to the Batcave for some reason. But at this point, Batman's only been on the job about 18 months. So he's still really green, and isn't exactly the smartest on tactics at this point. After administering some truth serum and some hypnosis, he's able to get some information out of this guy, and it turns out his name is Curtis Eisenman, and he's a German immigrant from West Germany, and his mother is some sort of scientist who is a very staunch believer in a certain German philosophy from the 40s, and while she abandoned her son early in life, he did go on to join the Air Force and then the Gotham City Police Department. Well, after a failed attempt to capture the Batman, some bats made his helicopter crash and it really maimed him, and his mother took notice of that and thought he would be a good experiment. So she puts him in an armored suit called Marauder 1. There is a second Marauder suit, but he's not worthy of that until he takes out the Batman. And we are left with a pretty disturbing cliffhanger ending that means Batman might be in some serious trouble. All in all, the story is really good. The cover's great. Very dynamic, action-packed. It does relate to what's going on in the book, even though Batman doesn't get injured in the chest. He gets a different injury. The interior art is fantastic. It's Gil Kane. He's a great Batman artist. So I really like this book. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's a quick read too. Even though there's a lot of dialogue and caption boxes, it's very fast paced, and I was really surprised by how good this was. I figured this would be a weaker story than the ones we'd read so far, but shockingly it's pretty solid. So if you get a chance to pick it up, I'd recommend it. Everything comes together very well. Good story, good art, great cover. What more could you ask for? That's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Legends of the Dark Knight issue 25. This is part 2 of the storyline Flyer, written by Howard Chaykin, with art by Gil Kane, colors by Steve Oliff, Willie Schubert on letters, Bill Kaplan, assistant editor, edited by Archie Goodwin. So another suit has literally dropped into the Batcave, and Alfred gets injured, and the second suit takes off with the bad guy. Now we see as he is taken to a laboratory where his mother is waiting, even though she denies him. And she has a serious interest in Batman for amorous reasons. Batman, however, still has to fight some crime, and he's trying to lure the bad guy out, but Curtis is not initially falling for the bait. And when he does, Batman's in some trouble. Now, while he is held hostage, there is a really disturbing ending to this issue, and we have to hear way too much about the bad lady's fertility. This is a very adult storyline, which this series was intended to be much more aimed at adults, so it fits it. But there are quite a few things in here that are not going to be seen as politically correct today, including a few words that are now considered slurs against the gay community. So be aware of that. Also, the overtones of what this mad scientist lady wants are pretty disturbing. So there is definitely going to be some themes in here that are going to make some modern audiences very uncomfortable. But it is written for adults who should be able to handle that. I thought overall the art is fantastic. fantastic. The story is a lot of fun, and it's very, very interesting. You can usually find these for about the cost of a new comic book or less, and you'll get a much better written Batman story than most of what is out there today. So highly recommended for mature audiences that can handle naughty words and adult topics. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Batman Legends of the Dark Knight issue 26. This is part 3 of the storyline Flyer, which is also the final installment. Written by Howard Chaykin with art by Gil Kane, colors by Steve Oliff, letters by Willie Schubert, Bill Kaplan assistant editor, Archie Goodwin editor. So Bridget Eisenman is torturing Batman, trying to test his limits until he'll submit to her saucy desires. What she didn't count on was his determination and her son Kurt interfering. Now Kurt goes after Batman and works him over pretty good because remember, Batman's being tortured and put through all these tests, so of course Kurt is fully functional and has this almost exoskeleton flyer thing on him that gives him a massive advantage. But Batman does not give up that easily, and Kurt starts to kind of realize that maybe he's made a mistake and misjudged Batman, and he realizes that Batman has a lot more perseverance and determination than even he does. And this whole time he's been trying to win over his mother, but now he's starting to really rebel against her, and he knows a secret about the facility. Well, Batman wisely gets out of there as fast as possible. It's a pretty dark story, really. It's got a pretty dark ending, and if I had to hear more about this lady's desire to stay fertile, it would have creeped me out too. But overall, it was a really solid story, a good 3-part adventure. I'm real glad I picked these up again. I haven't read them since the 90s. I'd have to say that even though there is a lot of disturbing subject matter in this storyline, last issue's slurs and stuff like that really didn't bother me too much because they made sense that he would say that in the context of the story, and it actually made the storyline a little bit more believable as far as being the way people talk and interact with each other. So I thought this was a really solid storyline, but it's not going to appeal to everyone for that reason. The second act does have some risque verbiage in it that's going to offend a lot of moderate audiences, and that sensitivity is probably going to turn them off from this story. And that's probably why this hasn't been reprinted, which is really unfortunate because it is a really good story and it makes sense within the context of the storyline. But the caveat remains, if you're offended by words, then it's probably not going to be for you. So great art, good cover, and a good story. All around a solid Batman storyline that's definitely worth a read. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.